Chronic fatigue syndrome affects millions of people worldwide. If you are one of them, what can you do about it? Chronic fatigue syndrome, ME/CFS, has been used to describe a wide range of illnesses characterized by debilitating fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. The most common symptoms are muscle pain, brain inflammation, and extreme exhaustion. The condition is also known as myalgic encephalomyelitis, ME, post-viral fatigue syndrome, or systemic exertion intolerance disease, SEID. It's more prevalent in women than men, and it can affect people at any age. It is important to get the chronic fatigue syndrome diagnosed, because it can help people understand what is happening to their bodies and why they are feeling so tired. It can also help them find ways to live a more fulfilling life. ME/CFS is a disorder that can affect people of any age, but it is most common in adolescents and young adults. It is characterized by extreme, prolonged fatigue after exertion or other physical or mental activity. What are the signs and symptoms that might indicate you have chronic fatigue syndrome? ME/CFS is a condition that can be difficult to diagnose and even harder to treat. It is important to find a doctor familiar with the disease, as it takes special handling, diagnosis by exclusion, or eliminating other possible known conditions to isolate and identify the disease. The U.S. Veterans Administration publishes a brochure which outlines this process. The symptoms can often be misdiagnosed as depression, stress, or other psychological disorders, due to the lack of diagnostic tools available to definitively identify the condition. This video focuses on the signs and symptoms of ME/CFS that might indicate a person has this condition. ME/CFS is characterized by persistent and unexplained exhaustion that lasts longer than 6 months. It can cause severe problems with memory, concentration, sleep disturbance, muscle weakness, muscle pain, and migraine headaches. These symptoms may persist for weeks or months at a time, but they won't necessarily be present every day. The most common symptoms are fatigue, difficulty with concentration, sleep disturbances, muscle pain, and migraine headaches. There are 2 types of chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic fatigue and chronic fatigue with overlapping conditions. The cause of the condition is unknown, but it has been linked to physical or emotional stress and other medical conditions, such as depression or anemia. Chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, should be diagnosed when the patient meets the following criteria, and other potential causes have been eliminated: persistent or relapsing chronic severe fatigue, unrefreshing sleep, post-exertional malaise, lasting more than 24 hours, cognitive impairment, difficulty concentrating, is a condition that affects the body's immune system. It causes extreme tiredness and a lack of energy for more than 6 months. ME/CFS is not a well-understood condition, and there are many theories about what causes it. Some people believe that it's caused by an infection, while others think that it might be due to an autoimmune disorder. The most common triggers are stress, lack of sleep, and poor mental health, which all lead to the immune system being weaker and more susceptible to infections. There are many treatment options available for ME/CFS patients. These options vary in their effectiveness, and can be administered in a variety of different ways. The most common treatments for CFS patients include cognitive behavioral therapy and graded exercise therapy. These treatments have been shown to be effective in reducing the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome, but they are not always enough to completely eradicate the disorder. The following are essential health tips for people with CFS or ME. These tips are not the only ones that can be followed, but they have been found to be most helpful for people with these conditions. 1. Resting and sleeping well. 2. Eating a healthy diet. 3. Practicing stress management techniques. 4. Avoiding alcohol and caffeine. 5. Doing light exercise every day. 6. Getting enough vitamin D from sunlight or supplements. 7. Getting enough sleep every night. 8. Keeping a positive attitude about their condition and their life in general. 9. Making time for themselves each day to do things they enjoy, such as reading, watching TV, listening to music, taking a walk, etc. 10. Avoid overexertion that may cause a crash, or induce an acute fatigue episode that might incapacitate you for days. People with ME/CFS are often unable to work and have a hard time living with the symptoms. It feels like your body has betrayed you. And it is especially hard when you are physically unable to return the favors your family and friends may have done for you.